Rink Rats, what's going on? It's getting late in the evening, but we are just heating up. Here with Sean Fitzgerald. Andy Campbell here with Sean Fitzgerald. Season 9, Episode 3. Eve of training camp. The season, the 25-26 NHL season has arrived. And here we are. Sean, what's up, buddy?
Another day in paradise. Excited to talk about the training camp. Excited for the season to get started. Excited for playoff baseball in Chicago.
Yeah, October baseball in Chicago. Way to go. He's clinching today. Big day for Chicago baseball, which is awesome. But a huge day starting, 9 a.m. Central? Tomorrow, the first skate for the Blackhawks. And so here we go. Here we go with training camp. It's exciting. It's time. It has been a really long summer. There haven't been a ton of moves. There hasn't been a ton of, moving and shaking other than the idea of a lot of the prospects coming about. The Tom Curvers tournament, the Blackhawks rookies played 2 games over those. And, people are making evaluations based off of that on what they see and expectations. But nobody really knows until tomorrow begins and the big boys are all out there playing. Sean, before we get into this, we could talk position by position. What are you most looking forward to, though, during training camp and during some of these preseason games?
I'm looking to see how the lines shake out.
Okay.
I want to see – the big thing for me is Connor Bedard's line mates. So last year he was kind of in a blender. It was Connor Bedard with Nick Foligno, with anybody and everybody played on the top line with Connor Bedard. I want to see consistent line mates for Connor Bedard and give him some runway so he can actually develop chemistry with guys. I think that's kind of one of the big things I want to see. And then where the defense shakes out. Like, who's Sam Rinzel going to play with? Who's Alex Vlasic going to play with? Like, where's Connor Murphy in the pairings? Like, I want to see how that shakes out.
Well, I'm excited to see the effects of a new coach. I mean, Jeff Blashill, his first training camp with the Hawks. To your point, though, I mean, the last few seasons we're just used to seeing the Blackhawks lines be just this blender of, well, I guess nothingness, you can say. I mean, nothing ever stuck.
Nothing's and has-beens. Yeah.
No, and it should be really interesting to see if Jeff Blashill is the kind of coach that, once he has his mindset on something, he's going to let it run for a little bit. I'm sure we'll see a ton of combos, but hopefully it will settle into some regularity. I think that would be helpful, particularly for the young players. So the Tom Curvers camp just ended, or the tournament just ended, which was great for the rookies. But some news today, Sean, what have you got for us? There's a defenseman that is coming here on a PTO. Actually, a fairly big name in hockey circles.
Yeah, Matt Grzelcyk, formerly of the Pittsburgh Penguins, signed a PTO with the Blackhawks.
Yeah. And the Boston Bruins.
And Boston Bruin. He scored 40 points last year. Mm-hmm. Now, he's not a very big guy in terms of size, but he is a veteran defenseman, and they don't really have too many veteran defensemen. I think of Connor Murphy and Alex Vlasic, I guess you could count as a veteran defenseman, and that's all they've got for potential to make their NHL roster. So bringing in a veteran guy on a PTO. Jimmy was really excited about him earlier in the offseason. I know Jimmy wanted him to be signed.
Yeah.
I will caution people, though, the last guy the Hawks signed on a PTO that actually earned an NHL contract was Cody Franzen.
Yeah, that didn't go so well.
No. He was good in Rockford, but that was about it.
That said, there's absolutely no risk in this whole thing.
No.
There's absolutely no risk. So, I mean, you've got Wyatt Kaiser, who's still not signed. And that left side is just a huge question mark. And I think this is definitely worth the risk. I mean, you have Wyatt Kaiser when he signs. We still don't know when that's going to be. He might start the season late. Maybe he won't start it very well because he's starting late. That's debatable.
He'll probably have to go if he doesn't start on time. He's probably going to have to play in Rockford.
He might.
Underneath him.
I don't know. I mean, we'll get a little bit into Wyatt Kaiser. I certainly don't think he's a bad hockey player, but is he good enough to hold out this long? I don't know about that either. It's very surprising. And then on the left side, then you have Ethan Del Mastro and you have Kevin Korchinski, and you don't know what you got.
Right.
You just don't know. I mean, I think that those two are very good prospects, and are going to be good players and will hopefully develop into good NHL players, but you just don't know where they're going to be at this stage.
No, Korchinski in his 2 stints last year. His first stint was better than his second stint. I thought he was way better the first time. The second time, he looked okay, but, you just don't know. Del Mastro, the same thing. Like, he was up and down.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what's going on there. And if Wyatt Kaiser, what he was, if that makes sense, plays the way he did in the last 22 games when he was up,
right,
he should be that left-handed defenseman that they're looking for.
Right.
But if he doesn't, or if he's up and down again, then there's a lot of question marks on the left side.
Yeah, we've raised a lot of eyebrows with some of our recent comments about Wyatt Kaiser. A lot of people don't agree with him. I do think there are a lot of Blackhawk fans out there, respectfully, that think he's going to be a player that I personally don't think he's going to be. Yeah. And a lot of us don't. Will he, and when they start competing, really competing, could he be useful as a 6 or 7 defenseman? Sure. Will he be a top 4 defenseman on an NHL competing team? Likely not. So I'm not holding my breath on his signature. That said, what you do get if Matt Grzelcyk does work out, you get a puck-moving defenseman. Mm-hmm. And if he still moves the puck like he did last year, he had 40 points. Granted, a lot of those were assists, but the whole idea is these forwards that need to be developed, some of the young forwards that need to be developed, get them the puck.
Right.
Get them the puck. And
get the puck out of the zone and move the play. Like we do.
Puck. Yeah. Move the puck. If board battles are an issue, if clearing out in front of the net is an issue, you don't have to worry about Matt Grzelcyk in playoff hockey because it ain't happening.
No,
it ain't happening on this team. So it's not like, wow, well, when we get into those really meaningful games in April and in May, what do we think of Grzelcyk? It's not an issue. Right. It's a non-factor.
No, he's a veteran guy. He's available. The PTO. There's no guarantee he makes the roster. If he plays well enough, the Hawks don't offer him a contract, I'm sure somebody will pick him up. If not, he'll go over and play in Europe like they always do. Yep. There is a list of NHL teams who signed guys on PTOs this year. You can look at it. It's on NHL.com. Grzelcyk isn't the only guy that signed a PTO. Oliver Wahlstrom signed a PTO. So there's guys on PTOs. There are usually a success story here and there from PTOs, but mainly it's just sometimes it's roster finagling in that, in the past when the Hawks did sign Coney Franzen, they needed to put somebody on LTIR before he could sign his NHL contract. This is not the case here. They're bringing in a veteran guy for a look. If they like what they see, they'll sign him to a contract, or they'll sign him in the hopes that when Connor Murphy gets hurt, when Connor Murphy gets hurt, they have another veteran defenseman.
It's going to happen.
Yeah, he's hurt every year.
Yeah. This might be it for him. He's in a contract year, isn't he?
I believe so. I believe this is the last year of his deal. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, let's talk then. Since we've already gotten into the defense, let's just start talking from the back out, and as far as what battles we might anticipate in training camp. So let's talk about some of the battles along the D. So as far as locks that are going to make the team, that are blue liners, we do have Alex Vlasic is your.
Hold on. Breaking news. We have a defender signing a 2-year contract. Wyatt Kaiser has signed a 2-year deal.
Whoa, 2 years for Wyatt Kaiser. At what?
2-year contract that runs through 26-27 at 1.7 salary cap hit.
Okay. So Wyatt Kaiser is
in the fold,
ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Wyatt Kaiser, new contract. All right.
New contract. Less than the $3 million some gentleman was arguing with the editor-in-chief of the Rink, Eric Andrews, about.
Yep.
So 1.7 for 2 years.
And then, and if you wanted to sign Wyatt Kaiser, good move giving the PTO to Matt Grzelcyk to get Kaiser going with that pen to ink. So we're going to see Wyatt Kaiser tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow morning, he'll be on the ice.
Wow. Good thing we held up. Good thing we didn't start the pod until 9:00 Eastern.
Yeah. Because most times the contract is signed right after we finish.
Breaking news: Wyatt Kaiser, 2-year contract, 1.7 per year. Thoughts on it, Sean? Now that it's literally just happened.
Yeah, I think it's a fine deal. He was making like 9.87, so it's a decent raise for him. Gives him 2 years. He didn't really have much leverage, as everyone has said.
No, he does
because
not.
He wasn't a restricted free agent. So the only thing he really could have done to try to coax more money out of the Hawks was to hold out.
Yeah.
That's the only leverage play he had.
Yeah.
So good for him. I'm glad he's back in the fold.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not, folks, despite what you've seen or interpreted on my Twitter account, from an article we wrote 2 years ago, because a lot of people thought very highly of Wyatt Kaiser and thought he would be someone exceptional. He's a good hockey player. He's fine.
Yeah.
He's not extraordinary. This is a good contract for someone who is a bottom six defenseman.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're going to figure out what they have in him.
Yeah, right. He's got a 2-year prove it deal. The other thing to think about here is this is also a very tradable contract.
Yep.
When it comes to it, if the left side starts to bulk up, and you're looking to move parts, this is a good acquisition for someone. This is not going to be a cap constraint with the cap going up for anybody. Wyatt Kaiser, who might be an expendable player at some point, depending on how some of these guys pan out.
Teams could stash him in the AHL if they acquired him. But good for Wyatt Kaiser. I'm glad he's back in the fold.
Yeah, good for Wyatt.
On the ice tomorrow. He won't start behind. Hopefully he makes the team out of camp, and the Wyatt Kaiser contract nonsense can be behind us.
Yeah, that's good. I don't think it wasn't helping anyone out with anything for that matter. And
it was just getting irrational takes on Twitter. But that's what Twitter's for.
That's what Twitter's for, irrational takes. And a lot of people think my takes are irrational, and bring it on. And when it comes to Wyatt Kaiser and my takes, I stand by them. I'm good with that. I'll be happy to take the heat. So yeah, good on him. Now you do have, in the event that, someone like a Kevin Korchinski is not ready, then, you've got some flexibility now on that left side.
Yep.
So, and we'll see. I'm really curious on, let's talk real quick about, Kevin Korchinski, and let's talk about some of those D battles. Who are you most curious about on earning a spot? I mean, now that the Grizzly thing has happened, the PTO, Kaiser signed, he's going to be there. Kaiser will be with the team probably to start the season. I think everyone needs to assume that.
Yep.
What else happens on that left side, though, if they carry 4? Now, they might carry 3, they might carry 4. Grizzly might not work out.
Yeah.
So then it's between 2 guys. What do you got, Sean?
So it's between Del Mastro and Korchinski. And if Korchinski's playing at a bottom pairing, like if he's playing 5-6, I think that's a waste. I don't think Korchinski should be up in the NHL because you need Korchinski to play with like a stay-at-home defenseman so he can tap into his offensive potential. He can captain your power play. He can do those things. If he's not going to do that at the NHL level, I know everybody wants him to be at the NHL level, but I think he has to go down to Rockford and be on their top pairing down there and get more time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, with the rules in place, Korchinski, like they brought him up last year or 2 years ago, and he spent that whole year up. I think he regressed a little bit. Last year, he was good in his first stint, like I said, and then I didn't think he was that great in his second stint. But I think, as Jimmy and maybe you've pointed out, he gets bigger physically, like bulk up, like add more muscle. And I don't know. We'll see because the measurements, the weigh-ins, and all that good stuff will come out tomorrow when everybody, the first practice and all that stuff will come out. So we'll see if he's gotten bigger and developed more. So I think Korchinski with Kaiser in the fold, and you kind of know what you have in Kaiser, and Del Mastro, I don't think needs to play as much as Korchinski does. I think Korchinski might be the odd man out on the left side.
Yeah, I mean, again, like we talked about, it's just wait and see. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think to your point, it is not going to do anybody any good if he is playing bottom 6 minutes, and he certainly is not going to be a defenseman in a checking role.
No,
any capacity. I mean, Vlasic's going to be your number one left-sided D. It all depends on who he's paired with.
Yep.
I think that there is a possibility though that you can, have Kaiser now in that bottom 6 role and have Korchinski in a top 4 to try it out, to sample it.
And then would Del Mastro go down? Because you figure, so Levy's got to be paired with a stay-at-home defenseman because he freewheels and he goes rogue, and that suits the NHL game for him. The AHL, it didn't work out as well. So you need a stay-at-home defenseman. So do you pair him with Vlasic or do you pair him with Sam Rinzel?
Well, I don't think you'd put Sam Rinzel and Levshunov together, both right-handed shots. I mean, I feel like they're ultimately going to be competing for that top
spot with Vlasic.
Top spot with Vlasic. It could be Rinzel and Vlasic right away. It could be Rinzel and Korchinski. It could be Korchinski and Connor Murphy. It could be EDM, Ethan Del Mastro, and Connor Murphy.
Yeah, I guess we're going to see.
I think that the big thing is that everyone's so curious about Kevin Korchinski and how this is going to work out.
Yeah.
Will he be ready? I don't know. And a lot of it could also depend on where Grzelcyk fits into this whole thing.
Yeah, and if he fits in at all, or if he's just a body to like what Jan Hajo was for the Hawks in 2015, where they brought him in on a PTO and he literally just checked people during preseason games, and he was off to Europe at the end of his rope.
It's pretty much what happened. So I don't know. It'll be interesting. I think the one thing that a lot of people were not, a lot in the press and in the media were not particularly impressed with Levshunov in the 2 games that he played in the Tom Curvers tournament. And they said, wow, he was just kind of all over the place. I don't think you can put much stock into that. I'm not going to do it. I'm not, going to. Well, honestly, when it comes to him, I'm not going to pretend that matters that much.
No,
I just don't.
So I don't think it matters that much either because he hadn't played in so long. Last year he didn't have a training camp. Remember that. So this is his first kind of training camp experience. Plus he was paired with somebody he didn't normally play with. Scott Powers has postulated in some of his articles that Wyatt Kaiser is probably the guy to pair with Levshunov because Kaiser's more of a stay-at-home. And I don't know if he was paired with somebody in that tournament as a stay-at-home. And he definitely wasn't paired with somebody as his caliber. So
it was just and I'm not gonna lie, I did not watch the tournament, so I don't.
I watched clips.
I don't have a frame of reference. Was he good or was he bad? But it's clearly alarm bells were sounding off, and people were saying, "Ooh, maybe he does need more time in Rockford." We'll find out over the next couple of weeks. I mean, that's that. Sam Rinzel sounds like a lock, and I'm not surprised.
No,
and nobody should be surprised. I don't. Again, I mean, we've been talking about this guy since he showed up. He had such a great second year at University of Minnesota. And then what he did with his 11 games last year, I thought he was terrific.
He's gone from a prospect that you were waiting and see on to the number 1 defenseman prospect in the system.
Yeah. There are people outside of Chicago now, NHL reporters and people that follow the game that are saying this might be a real Calder candidate.
Yeah. I mean,
he is that good. So
he took a longer development path, but it showed. It worked.
That's the way. That's the deal. So a really good draft pick by
Kyle Davidson.
Kyle Davidson in his first draft took him late.
Yeah, his third first round pick.
Straight out of high school. Yeah, it's a really good pick. Yeah.
Nazar, Korch, and then Rinzel.
Yeah. Ethan Del Mastro I am really curious about. And then the other ones, I mean, Crevier could be up and down. Louis Crevier. I mean, he's a body to have around.
He outperformed his draft status. He was a 7th rounder.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when Connor Murphy gets hurt, he'll be penciled in.
Yeah.
I don't know what to make of Nolan Allen and his chances now. He seems really in limbo. But I don't. Again, who knows? I thought he played fine.
Yeah.
Nothing there's nothing spectacular about his game. He's stable. But on the left side, now it just all of a sudden Grzelcyk going into camp, Grzelcyk on a PTO, Kaiser just signed. It just got really crowded really quick.
Yep.
And I don't know where Allen fits into that. I'm really hoping Ethan Del Mastro fits into that somehow.
Yeah, I would like Ethan Del Mastro. I know Tab Branford.
He's a big fan.
Or Bamford, Branford. I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking Branford Bulldogs. I don't know.
Tab's a big fan.
Yeah, huge fan. So we'll see what he does.
But yeah, so I mean, it'll be interesting. I think a lot of it though with Kaiser signed is we're going to find out if Kaiser can move the puck the way that the Blackhawks need him to move the puck, which he hasn't. He's been fine, but he does run around in his own zone quite a bit. He was a lot better in his last 20 games when he came back from Rockford after having that stint. Can he move the puck, though? Can he move the puck the way Matt Grzelcyk moves the puck? If Matt Grzelcyk can move the puck the way that we're all hoping he does, I don't know.
And the Hawks are hoping the 22 games that we saw at the end of the year is what he is.
Yeah.
In the
but
NHL.
I don't. Yeah, I think now we're at the point with Kaiser sign that we're not going to see anything shocking develop.
Not on the defensive side.
Not on the defensive end. On the defensive end. So let's talk forwards, shall we, Sean? There's a few forward battles, and there's a few names that have come up heading into training camp where people are wondering, is this person going to stick or not? The name that you hear the most about of is he going to make the team or not is Oliver Moore.
Yep.
Oliver Moore, who, again, had a similar 11-game stint. Again, we're talking University of Minnesota guy. Good 7-game stint. Or 11-game stint, excuse me, to end the season last year. Picked up a couple points in a game against Washington. Clearly, he can skate at this level. I think the composure, the in-zone coverage, and a lot of people talk about his finishing.
Yep.
Will he be a goal scorer? I don't know if that's who he's going to be ultimately. He might end up being your penalty-killing, really fast, John Madden type player. I don't know. And he wears number 11 too. But Oliver Moore's name is I mean, there aren't the Blackhawks are not outside of, Ryan Donato coming back is great after he had a great year. Frank Nazar and Connor Bedard. After that, it's just kind of a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are in their 30s and they're not very easy on the eyes, I guess you could say, in terms of the hockey world at this stage. Teuvo Teravainen, he's a good player. He can contribute. Tyler Bertuzzi all of a sudden is 30 years old. Andrei Burakovsky will make the team. He will be solid. He'll be an asset. Jason Dickinson fell off a cliff last year.
Injuries derailed him.
In fact, Sean, did you give him an F for the season?
I did. Yeah, I said he sucked.
Yeah, he's the one. This team sucks.
Yeah.
People have to have Fs.
Yeah.
So Jason Dickinson, is he healthy? Can he play like he did 2 years ago? Mikheyev actually had a great season.
He did. He was sneaky good.
Sneaky good. But then you've got Lafferty, who will probably make the team as a fourth line player.
He'll be like the forward that you like shuttle in and out. Like if a kid's not playing well, Lafferty will play.
Yeah. So then Dominic Toninato.
I think
he goes straight to Rockford.
I think he's the captain of the Ice Hogs. I think.
Yeah, I think he goes up
deal just to give him more money.
Right. So that literally, if all those guys make it, other than that guy, there's 2 spots available, and I'm leaving one guy off, and that's Lukas Reichel.
Yeah.
So then you've got Reichel in a battle for a spot, Oliver Moore in a battle for a spot,
Ryan Green,
who I think will be with the club eventually. It might not be to start the year.
Yeah, I think he might be on the Charlie Romeliotis and Pat Boyle said he might be on the Frank Nazar plan.
Yeah. Well, and the thing about Ryan Green, and we've all said this before, that you need to have a natural center in the system, and he's one of the only ones.
Right.
He's one of the only ones. Bedard is a center, and but he could be a wing. And then you have Dickinson, who's a center. And then other than that, you have guys that do play center, but they're probably better on the wing.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's it. So Ryan Green is a center. So that might help him in that regard.
But you don't want him playing fourth line center at the NHL right now. You'd much rather play.
I think that's going to be his game, though. He might not be ready to do it.
I think if push comes to shove this year, I think to start the season, he's your top line center top 2 line center at Rockford to start the year, and then ultimately the third or fourth line center is his peak value in his career, which is fine.
Yeah. Yeah. So those, I guess those guys are the question mark. If I had to put money on it right now, I'd put money on Oliver Moore making it.
I think both those guys go down.
Really?
I think both those guys go down because Moore.
So then you do say Reichel makes it, which Reichel probably will make the team.
But Reichel only. So It depends. So if Reichel and Charlie and Pat talked about this on their podcast. So if Reichel's in the top 9, then they're giving him another chance. Like the Hawks are, hey, this is your final shot.
Yeah.
This is your last runway. If you can't make it work now, we're going to move on.
Yeah.
If he's not in the top 9, I think they're going to play it out through camp, and it's a change of scenery. Like, you got to go. We're going to trade you for somebody like a Sam Lafferty type player, and we're going to move on from you because maybe you just need a different situation.
Yeah, I think that it almost seems like that's coming, unless a coach like Jeff Blashill can get something out of him that we haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Or if, I don't know, I mean, maybe he had a great offseason. I have no idea. But
I'm
not holding my breath like we have been in years past on Lukas Reichel, though.
From what I've read and heard on podcasts and such, he's done a lot of work and training in this offseason, more so than prior off seasons. So maybe that translates to something on the ice. But like you said, I'm not holding my breath.
It's just so hard to try to figure out if he's going to be an NHL player, who he's going to be, and what kind of player he's going to be.
Yeah, and
not a scorer. He's not a checker.
No,
he's not a center. He's
Is he a facilitator? Not really.
No.
Can he skate fast? Kinda. You know.
Yeah.
It's just the first round stigma here too. I think that's something that people are gonna. We should put him in the top 6 or play him with Bedard. He's a first round pick. And I think if they move him someplace else, none of that stuff's going to matter.
Yeah, I think, fortunately, we're not going to hear that kind of buzz this year.
We're going to hear it. There's Reichel apologists who Reichel could be in the ECHL with the Indy Fuel on their 4th line. He deserves top line minutes with Connor Bedard, pounding that drum.
That's awesome. And then the other player who I think a lot of people are excited to see, and I'm excited to see too, is Nick Lardis.
Yes.
Mark Lazarus, his column today. And we've said it before. He had 71 goals as an elder statesman in the OHL, which is different than doing it as an 18-year-old.
Right.
But Lazarus also brought up the point: 71 goals in the OHL, 71 goals in the OHL.
Right.
He's in any of these clips that you saw him in practice before the rookie tournament, his shot is real. I mean, he really lets that thing go.
Yeah, and Power said in years past, that he's an elite. He has an elite shot. That's his one. He's not a great skater. He doesn't check, but his shot is elite. That's his thing.
So can he find that time and space at this level?
And and
maybe not this year. Maybe not this year.
No, and probably shouldn't. The expectation shouldn't be this year. And Ben Pope had said he's elusive like Connor Bedard is at the NHL. Not the same speed wise, but Lazarus or Lardis knows how not to take the big hit and kind of weasel his way in to get his shot and stuff like that. So
I think the big thing is he going to be good enough in camp where the Hawks really have a real decision to make? Or is it something where they're just going to go, you know what, they might be going into this predetermined saying he's going to Rockford. And it could be like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, he would have to give them he'd have to be pumping in goals every preseason game.
Yeah. But he's a good prospect. That's the great thing about what the Hawks have going. Some of their prospects will be in the NHL, but some will still be at Rockford. They all haven't arrived.
Yeah.
You got one more. There's one more forward that everybody in camp. AJ Spalletti.
Oh God.
No. And not that not to overhype him or to denigrate people who overhype him, but the big debate out there among beat reporters and stuff is what to do with him in terms of, obviously he's going back to the O and he's going to go back to the Spitfire. If the NHL and the NHLPA don't ratify the rule that you can place one 19-year-old kid from the CHL in the AHL this year. Now, they still haven't ratified it. Eric Andrews is of the belief that they won't do it because camps are opening, but you don't know. If that's the case, everyone believes he'll be sent to the A because of the type of game he plays.
If the agreement happens, yeah. I mean, you may as well get him in the system, sure.
Well, and he plays a physical game. Like I'm sure
put him up against the big boys and see if he can do it.
Right, and I know I'm referencing it a lot, but Pat and I listened to it today. Pat and Charlie were saying that AJ Spellecy's body is like an NHL body. Like he is built and ready to play at the NHL. It's just in his skill and his stick and his skating and all that stuff. He's physically there, but are his other tools ready for it? So playing against bigger, stronger guys who probably play more. The AHL game isn't as finesse as like juniors and the NHL. Like they muck it up down there. There's more.
I mean, I think the sooner you can get him into the system, you do it. If this rule passes.
If it passes this year, if it doesn't pass this year, it'll go into effect next year, and then it's moot because he'll be 20.
And then he'll be ready to come over at that point. So, but I mean, like even, you saw a guy like, I guess a comparable game. Will he become this player? Look, we're not going to go there yet. But Andrew Shaw, that's kind of, unfortunately, that might lead to a shorter tenure as a professional hockey player to play on that edge. But some guys do that, and you need those guys. Spellacy might be of that fabric.
Some people are throwing out wild accusations of maybe he grows into a Tom Wilson type player.
Wow. Yeah.
Which would be great.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. I'm not willing to go there yet, but that'd be awesome.
Yeah. But yeah, so he's the last four we hadn't talked about.
Yeah.
Didn't want to leave him off for the Spellacy faithful.
Yeah. Well, one more is one of your guys, Shawnee. Where does Landon Slaggert fit into this whole thing? Yeah.
I think he's a fourth line. He's on the same trajectory. He's on the same schedule as he's just a fourth line guy. Like that's if he's in the NHL as a fourth line guy. If not, he's scoring goals down at Rockford. But I don't think he's more than that. As much as I hoped he would be more than that. Mm-hmm. He had some flashes last year, but he'll play on the fourth line. He might move up and down, but I think he'll be in the NHL to start the year, just because he has NHL experience. You don't want to run all first year guys out in your forwards. So you're going to sprinkle in guys who are still younger, but not in their 30s. So I think Slaggert's probably one of those guys. And if he doesn't make the team, well, he doesn't make the team. And he goes down to Rockford.
There might need to be an injury or two for him to make it. I don't know. That's the other thing. I mean, we might see some guys go down in training camp that might open up other opportunities. I mean, hopefully there will be some wows, some where you go. I really hope Oliver Moore delivers. I would like to see him start the season. But to your point, they might have a Nazar type path for him. Go down, light it up, and then come up, and then
work on his scoring touch outside the spotlight, bury a bunch of goals down in Rockford, then come back up without all the eyes and the pressure on. He's not scoring at the NHL level.
Yeah. Well, good stuff. Well, Spencer Knight also with his new contract in goal. That's exciting. That's really exciting. So
3 years, and he'll be 28 when the deal ends. So if he plays really well, he's in for a big payday after that.
There you go. I mean, we talked about Dustin Wolf getting this huge contract, and we said Spencer Knight will not get that. He got something. He didn't get that, but he got a pretty darn good deal, and the Blackhawks look brilliant.
Yeah. And
if I'm a Calgary Flames fan, I'm looking at their organization going, why didn't they do something like that? Why didn't they do what the Blackhawks did?
As you said in the last one, what jersey's coming off the shelf in Calgary? Wolf.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yep.
That's the one. That's what they've got going.
So now they're locked into their tandem, the Hawks are, with Knight and Soderblom for the next several years, with Camesso kind of waiting in the wings and Lauren Brossois sitting on a beach earning 20% with his injury.
Yeah, good for him. Congrats, buddy. Yeah, career might be over. Well, interesting. I mean, it's really going to be fascinating to see what goes on. Again, I'm not just going back to the D. I actually, a lot of people are talking about Levshunov and Rockford. I'm not willing to go there yet. I think if he in his first preseason game plays a lot of minutes and looks good. I think that's it. I think he's there. I don't think the Tom Curvers 2-day special should tell the story.
And he only played in one game. It wasn't like he played one game.
Played one game, and now people are saying, man, maybe he should be in Rockford.
And the same people, if you watched him play last season in the AHL and in the NHL, yes, his numbers were better in Rockford, but he looked like he belonged and was better in the NHL.
He did well in the spring. I mean, I remember the whole when the Blackhawks played the Montreal Canadiens and Demidov played.
Yep.
And Demidov, that was his first game, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah. And everyone was like, wow, Demidov. The number 1 and the number 2 overall picks played against each other. The Blackhawks won the game. And the Canadiens were supposed to win the game. The Blackhawks won the game, and Levshunov played over 20 minutes, and it was +1. And yeah, Demidov scored, I believe. And the whole talk was, oh my gosh, this is who the Hawks passed up on. And no one was paying attention to the fact that Artyom Levshunov had an unbelievable game.
And that was like his second. He played super well against Dallas earlier that week when there was an injury, and he had to play his first NHL game. He had to play against Dallas, and he had to play top line minutes.
Right. The reason they drafted this guy was to win hockey games.
Yeah.
It wasn't to have
highlights on TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok and Instagram reels, which Demidov will have a lot of. And Montreal is going to be good this year.
They should be.
I think Montreal is much improved and good for him, but the Blackhawks needed Levshunov and the draft. And I thought that game was it's amazing how many people never talked about the kind of game that Levshunov had that night. He was awesome. So.
One other thing about training camp. Totally forgot.
Yeah.
Will Connor Bedard sign his extension?
Because
in Kyle Davidson's off-season to-do list, he got Spencer Knight done. He got Wyatt Kaiser done. He paid Frank Nazar. So now Connor Bedard's the only one left.
Yeah.
And let me be clear here on, like, Kyle Davidson is paying guys in the hopes that they outperform the amount of money he's paying them.
Right.
So, like, whatever the amount of money that Bedard gets, the hope is that he is worth more than that contract by year one, or you're going to pay a premium up front, but then you hope by the peak of that deal that the player is worth more than what he's getting paid.
Yeah, I really hope it gets done sooner rather than later, and more so for the sake of I don't think there's going to be any question that it'll get done.
Correct.
I don't think Connor Bedard is going to hold out next year. I don't think he's going to talk about it in the media negatively, but for his sake, I hope it gets done. Not more so for the Blackhawks. Obviously, I want him on board, but you don't want him answering these questions all season long.
No, you don't want to.
And it's already starting.
Yeah, you don't want a Kaprizov situation. You don't want a Connor McDavid
where people are speculating, saying, "Why hasn't this happened?"
Yeah.
Then people are, if he has a couple off nights, are like, "Should they do? What should they do?" Or is he?
The genius is on.
They get him cheaper.
The genius is on X. Pay him $4 million.
Yeah,
he's not going to get paid.
I like today. A fan asked him today, and he said it'll get done.
Yeah,
it'll get done, and it will. And to your point, if this is being prioritized before the end of training camp, if this gets done before the end of training camp, what Kyle Davidson has done since August 1st is pretty remarkable.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
He's had, despite everyone poo-pooing all the non-moves, he has paid his guys, locked up the core of this team for the future, and now we can build around it. And now we're going to see what the prospects and with a new coach are going to do going forward.
Yeah. Again, if it gets done, I'm going to say this, and you've said it too, for the people that say we don't like Kyle Davidson, tell me what I'm missing. Tell me what I'm missing. Give me his list of bad moves.
He didn't sign Brock Besser. Like, get out of here with that crap.
Yeah, well, you did the right thing. At the time, I wanted him to hit a home run with a UFA. They weren't. Who the hell's coming to the Blackhawks? Is it UFA?
Nobody left. We talked about it.
Everyone wants to win. Everyone, we're still a couple years away from that.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
All right, folks. Thanks for listening. So glad we started late. We hit you with the Wyatt Kaiser news. Just one last reminder. Wyatt Kaiser has signed. That's the big news on the evening. Wyatt Kaiser, new contract, 2-year contract worth $1.7 million per year. A very good deal for him, a very good deal for the Blackhawks. He's getting paid what he's worth, and a lot of flexibility with your cap continuing without too much term for Wyatt Kaiser. 2 years is good for him at that price point. And then training camp starts 9 a.m. tomorrow.
9 a.m.
Pay attention. Nice. Yeah. So we will be back with more analysis probably after the first preseason game. When is the first one?
That's a great question. I should know that answer.
I should know that too. So well. That's what Google's for. We're all set to wrap up, and now we want to announce that.
I do have a shout out before we the 23rd, September 23rd, 23rd at 6 p.m.
Next Tuesday night. Great. Who's your shout out?
My shout out is to Katrina. You can follow her on social media at TR1N1TY3.
Say that one more time. TR what?
TR1N1TY3. She was the NHL's 4th star of the game in December of last year. She is a big advocate for Troy Murray. In case you guys don't know it, Troy Murray still has cancer, and he's fighting it every day. And so she's a huge advocate. She's called the mayor of Section 318. If you see at the United Center, the number 19 taped under Troy Murray's booth, the broadcast booth, she's the one who did it. She passed out wristbands. She's trying to raise awareness for Troy Murray and just letting people know that Troy's still fighting, and to give him, a shout out, say hello, give him a kind thought, just keep him in your mind. So Katrina, it was very nice to meet you. I hope you listen, and thank you for what you're doing for Troy Murray. I think you're muted, Andy.
Sorry, as I'm muted. Thank you, Katrina. Appreciate it. That is really awesome stuff. Give her a follow, folks. You see it right there. You see the handle. I am typing it in right now, and I'm about to give her a follow. Katrina, awesome stuff. And big shout out to you tonight from our show. So thanks for all you're doing. All right, folks. Enjoy training camp. Be well. Go Hawks. And we'll be back at you next week. Take care.